Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey.
Present.
Brubaker.
Here.
Kimmons.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Kaiser.
Here. Thank you. We've all had a copy of the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
If anyone has business in front of council for any of the items on the agenda or anything else, please fill out the cards in the rear, and when the time comes that you wish to address the council, please present those cards that identify yourself. You'll have a maximum of 4 minutes. Moving on to the minutes of the last meeting. It was included in the packets for council. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of visitors. Mr. Crane, any that you would like to recognize tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. We do have representatives from ESP who's going to be presenting later tonight, and we have some representatives from the Randolph County Ambulance District here.
Okay, I see Mr. Milnes, Mr. Palmator, and Mr. Mathis. Welcome. Okay, moving on. Public hearing and receipt of bids. Number 2, receipt of bids for new plow and spreader.
Yes, Mayor, we received a state contract bid for a 2020 spreader and plow for a Ford F-350. The state bid price was $12,091.98. We asked that this bid be accepted.
All right, questions about the equipment bids? All right, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Number 3, receipt of bids for the striping project.
Yes, Mayor, we received one bid from Rimley Coating LLC for bidding on centerline yellow, solid white street edge, solid white both street edge crosswalks and bike lane emblems. The total bid amount is estimated at $34,588.24, and we ask that this bid be accepted.
All right, questions about the bids? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to receive bids. Number 4, bids for lease purchase financing.
Yes, these bids were requested from our local banks here in town. First State Community Bank at a rate of 2.39% was the lowest bid, and we ask that these be accepted.
All right, any questions about these bids? I know we had this in work session last meeting, correct? All right, any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the bids. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 5, ordinances and resolutions. Number 5, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance establishing the annual tax for the imposition of a 911 tax for the emergency telephone services heretofore imposed by ordinance number 6948.
All right, you've heard a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance establishing the annual tax for the imposition of a 911 tax for the emergency telephone services heretofore imposed by ordinance number 6948, passed and adopted May 2nd, 1994.
All right, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there any discussion? Mr. Kaiser?
Yeah, I realize that this is a tax. I want to make sure that the public and everybody knows this is not a new tax causing new revenue, that this is a tax that's been going on since 1994, and all we're doing is renewing the same tax.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance establishing the annual tax for the imposition of a 911 tax for the emergency telephone services heretofore imposed by ordinance number 6948, passed and adopted May 2nd, 1994.
All right, you've heard the second reading. Any further discussion of the ordinance? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Brubaker.
Yes.
Kimmons.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 6, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Randolph County and Randolph County Ambulance District for 9/11 fees and call flow analysis consulting.
Call flow, you got banking on your mind there, sir.
Banking on my mind. Sorry.
Anyway, there's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
First reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Randolph County and Randolph County Ambulance District for 911 fees and call flow analysis consulting.
All right, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperative agreement with Randolph County and Randolph County Ambulance District for 911 fees and call flow analysis consulting.
All right, you've heard the second reading. Any further discussion of the ordinance? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Brubaker.
Yes.
Kimmons.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Yes. Motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 7, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving and ratifying execution of the cooperative agreement. I ask that it be read twice for passage.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving and ratifying execution of a cooperative agreement between the City of Moberly and Gregory K. and Deborah A. Weibert and the Marcy L. Berry Trust.
All right, you've heard the first reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, second reading, please.
An ordinance approving and ratifying execution of a cooperative agreement between the City of Moberly and Gregory K. and Deborah A. Weibert and the Marcy L. Berry Trust.
All right, you've heard the second reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Kimmons.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Brubaker.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 8, an ordinance.
Mayor, I have an ordinance continuing to impose a capital improvement sales tax in the city of Moberly, Missouri, at the rate of 1/2% of all retail sales that are subject to taxation for the purpose of extending, improving, operating, and maintaining its water and sewer systems. It has to be read twice for consideration.
All right, you heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance continuing to impose a capital improvement sales tax in the City of Moberly, Missouri at the rate of 1/2% on all retail sales that are subject to taxation for the purpose of extending, improving, operating, and maintaining its water and sewer systems.
All right, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance continuing to impose a capital improvement sales tax in the city of Moberly, Missouri at the rate of 0.5% on all retail sales that are subject to taxation for the purpose of extending, improving, operating, and maintaining its water and sewer systems.
All right, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Davis,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 9, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the bid of First State Community Bank to provide lease purchase financing for our Heritage Hills Golf Course improvements.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the bid of First State Community Bank to provide lease purchase financing for Heritage Hills Golf Course improvements.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Back to number 10, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving a tax-exempt equipment lease purchase agreement with First State Community Bank.
Did that hurt to say that?
Not really.
Okay. Heard the motion for the reading. Is there a second?
Second.
It's motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First reading.
Ordinance approving a tax-exempt equipment lease purchase agreement with First State Community Bank.
All right, you heard the first reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
Ordinance approving a tax-exempt equipment lease purchase agreement with First State Community Bank.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Roll call, please.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 11, an ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance accepting and approving 2 community assistance program agreements, and I ask that it be read twice for passage.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance accepting and approving 2 community assistance program agreements with the Missouri Department of Conservation for Moberly City Lakes.
All right, you've heard the first reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance accepting and approving 2 community assistance program agreements with the Missouri Department of Conservation for Moberly City Lakes.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
All right. Ordinance passes. Moving on to number 12, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving an easement for electric service and providing further authority. It has to be read twice for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving an easement for electric service and providing further authority.
All right. Discussion of the ordinance. Mr. Crane, anything you would add on this one? I don't recall this one in work session.
No, this was brought to our attention by Ameren, who wants to start this work in October, so they wanted us to get this to you as soon as possible to connect the power to the Plum Rose site.
Okay.
So this goes from the main into their main.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Second reading.
An ordinance approving an easement for electric service and providing further authority.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Ordinance is approved. Moving on to number 13, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the state contract bid and authorizing the purchase of a plow and spreader to fit a Ford 350 Ford dump truck.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the state contract bid and authorizing the purchase of a plow and spreader to fit an F-350 Ford dump truck.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Any discussion of the resolution? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passed. Moving on to number 14, a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting the bid of Remley's Coatings LLC for street striping and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for said services.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting the bid of Remley's Coatings LLC for street striping and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for said services.
All right, you've heard the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes. All right, we move on to number 15, a resolution on appropriation.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution appropriating, money out of the treasury of the city of Moberly, Missouri, and I ask that it be read once for passage.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
a resolution appropriating money of the Treasury of the City of Moberly, Missouri, in the amount of $669,308.10.
All right, I hereby certify that there is sufficient money standing to the credit of the City of Moberly, Missouri, unappropriated in the several funds covered by this resolution to meet the requirements of this resolution. Submitted, Gregory L. Haas, City Treasurer. Is there a motion for approval of the appropriation resolution?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Appropriation is passed. All right, that brings us to official reports. First off being the department head monthly reports. Anything that you want to add, first of all, Mr. Crane, of any of them, or?
No, all of them have been submitted, and if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
All right, does anyone have any questions? I know there has to be a question about the Fennel building, because we have a picture. Nothing? Okay, well, I had one question. I think it would be for Mr. Sanders. It was about the mowers that were sold and all that. So the ones that were bought to replace those, was that in the capital improvement budget? I just don't recall it coming in front of council to buy new mowers.
They were in our, we had skipped a couple years, and so the two mowers we had were broken down, and I wasn't having to be able to keep up with them. The rear drives went out. I can't remember if we brought those back. I don't think we, we needed to, I think we just needed to buy those, and so they were ones we'd skipped over, and the rear ends had went out of them. They had some hydraulic pumps where they had made the motors and the pumps together. And so that's the ones we were having a lot of trouble with. And so we actually purchased those out of the street department, the 601, which is our gas tax equipment account.
Okay, I guess my question was more, I was thinking we'd prove a lot of mowers. I didn't recall having it come in front of us with the bids and all that stuff.
I don't think,
Anyway, I might have missed it, but I
yeah,
just.
it's been probably,
I think we
We
did.
could
I
have.
know what it was. We used the bids that we had before. We had Lee's and all the ones that had bid, honored their bids, and so it was the same bids that we'd approved previously.
Okay,
That's what it was.
just senility, that's all it is, sorry. Anyone else? Mr. Kaiser?
With your permission, I would be curious to hear feedback from the chamber about how not Railroad Days, Chunk Junction went this weekend.
Okay, that would fall under Chamber Tourism.
It was a huge crowd on Saturday, where our low estimate for the numbers of attendance is about 4,000. We did put a drone up trying to count how many people, but it was a little too windy, so we kept putting it up trying to figure out how many people per block. We've been tallying the zip codes. So at the chamber tent, in order to complete a report for you, we were giving away gift certificates to various businesses, and the people were asked to provide their zip code and just a phone number so we could call them if they won. We've received zip codes from Lawrence, Kansas, Cape Girardeau, Carthage, Missouri, places in Iowa and Illinois. So we know that there were several people that traveled quite a distance just for this event. They were not here for homecoming reasons. So JROTC did a great job in the 200 block of providing a car show, which also added a different demographic of people to the event. And from the reports we've already received from our downtown merchants, they all had a wonderful day in sales. So some of our businesses set some new records on the number of transactions and the price points. We've also heard from Taco Bell, who asked what in the world was going on in downtown because they couldn't keep up all day long. So I would say it was a very successful event, and it was really good for our community. We did receive the Missouri of Tourism grant, and so that did allow us to pass out about 2,500 free masks. We refilled hand sanitizer stations throughout the event. The hand washing stations were really well received this year, and we had some good signage. So I'd say, we had 50-50 on mask wearing versus not, but there was an opportunity to spread out throughout the event. You could use the sidewalks. The sidewalks were actually clearer than the streets most of the day. So it was good. Any other questions?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for keeping that information, because that is
Yeah.
important, and congratulations on a great event.
Thank you. We had fun, but we are tired.
I definitely would like to congratulate you guys on a lot of hard work. It was wonderful. It's come a long way in 3 years.
Yes. I guess I should add that. So we did have one of our vendors, she was one of the first to sign up. She's out of Kirksville. And so she joined us in 2018. She came back in 19 and in 20. And she stopped me Saturday as we were cleaning up. And she said, "Oh my gosh, the growth of this event, I've never seen anything like it in any of the events I've participated in." And her question to me was, "What's available to rent?" So that's another great sign. She's come at Christmas last year, and so she's really interested in our community. So we appreciate that.
Okay, thank you very much. One more, go ahead. One at a time.
One at a time. So, Water Department, I'd like to congratulate you. I saw that our unaccounted billing has dropped to 17%. That continues to drop, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. And then, when I came off,
Okay, go ahead. Anyone else have one? Okay, hearing no others.
Save my time too.
Yeah,
my last one is, the fire department, I noticed that we continue We're back up to about 50% on medical calls versus non-medical calls. I just would like to recognize the firefighters continue to assist the ambulance district, and more than just transfer your call, we do more with our fire department. Just thank you.
All right. Anybody else on department head reports? Mr. Brubaker.
I'd just like to congratulate Councilman Austin Kaiser there for coming up with so many congratulations tonight for everyone, and I think that's really nice of you to do that.
I guess when the meeting goes quick, you can do that. Okay, so if there's not any others, we'll move on. And next will be appointment of council member to Fire Chief Hiring Committee. We did this in the work session at the last meeting, so someone needs to make a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion that we appoint the mayor to that committee to attend and take notes. Be a participating partner.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on. Consideration, number 18, consideration of a motion to, oh, that's the work session. Is there any other business to come in front of the council? Anyone here? Okay, so if there's nothing else on the agenda, then I'll entertain, do we have closed session this evening? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn from the meeting to work session followed by closed session. There's a motion to that effect. Motion there, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Brubaker.
Yes.
Kimmons.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned from regular session of Mobley City Council, and we'll now open the work session and move to that agenda, which comes up, number one on the agenda is the ESP project update. Ms. Calcagno.
Good evening. We thought, since we've been working on this project now for about a year, that we would come and give you an update about where the project is as far as the status of things that have been done and those that have yet to be done. As Alderman Kaiser noticed, our water loss is going down. I'll let them talk to you about why. We did have a couple of other projects that were part of this as well, and so they'll give you some information about that. Ron Lacombe is here. He is the business office? Vice President of Operations. So, and Kevin Karst is here as well, who is our project manager for the project. They will go through the presentation that is in your packets, and we have it up on the screen as well. I think that Jeff Lathman is here on Zoom also after the presentation if you have questions for him.
All right, thank you. Who's up first? Welcome.
Should I drop this down?
It would probably be best,
All right,
yes.
thank you. So my name's Ron Lacombe. I'm Vice President of Operations for Energy Solutions Professionals, the company that you hired. Well, we've been working together now for a couple of years, but got under contract a year ago. I've got Kevin Karst, our project manager, here today, as well as Terry Moore, our construction manager. Terry's here day to day, overseeing the operation, and Kevin is managing the overall project, and it all falls under me. So I want to thank you for letting me address the council and give you an update. I thought, looking at the agenda, I'm not going to take real long. I think I'll try to keep this under 10 minutes if I can keep it.
Efficient.
All right. So first thing we thought we wanted to do on the agenda is, what did you buy? This is probably something that you haven't looked at for a while, so I wanted to at least refresh in your mind what you bought. Second, I want to talk about a construction update. Then we'll touch on the energy savings. Then we'll touch on revenue recovery, and then a summary with any Q&A that you might have. So the next slide, what did you buy? Well, the overall project was, and there's a lot of numbers. Hopefully you can see them. This is the only busy slide, but this is straight out of the contract. $4.6 million was the project, of which just right at $4 million was spent on water meters and the water meter infrastructure, with $617,000 spent on what we call process improvements, which is dealing with the water plant and the wastewater treatment plant. So for that, we're projecting savings of $665,000, and that would be of energy savings and revenue recovery, as well as $28,000 with O&M savings. So that's what you bought. How did we do? How we're doing? If we can move to the construction update. The first thing on the agenda, and I try to put some pictures in. You guys may not go to the wastewater plant every day, so at least you'll see some pictures of it, right? So on the construction update, on the water plant, there's 3 high service pumps, 100 horsepower, of which we installed 3 variable frequency drives on those. And that was just to make them efficient, make them run better. We're done. That work is completed. At the wastewater treatment facility, as you can see on the lower side, you got brand new SBR blowers with variable frequency drives and a control system. All that is geared to do is to provide the fine bubble diffusion in the wastewater treatment plant, which takes care of all the wastewater. We're complete with that, and it's in operation. The next slide deals with the meters, and the first part of the meter is the telecommunications. So it's an AMR, AMI type automatic metering, and we put telecommunications throughout the city, mostly on the water towers. If you saw people climbing up a lot of high places, that was probably our guys. And so they installed all of the communications, and all those are installed. As part of this was billing software. The city chose to replace not just the water meter revenue software, but the complete billing system. And we've gone through a long stretch where we've interviewed a lot of different people jointly, and Cassell was selected by the city to do that. And so now they're gathering all their stuff, and us and Cassell are working with all the city departments to find out what modules you want and how within those modules how they interact together. So that is in process, and that's probably going to won't be finished until probably February or in that ballpark. Yeah. So, but the water meter piece will be done. The next one is, now let's get into the water meters. I break that up into commercial meters and into residential meters. And the commercial meters is like 1 inch and higher. There's not near as many of those as the residential meters, but this represents a big piece of the project, especially the revenue recovery. And I'd say that's done. And this is doing some of these commercial meters is a little bit can be interesting at times. As you can tell from some of the pictures, the guys up in the upper left, they're looking for the one that was installed under and behind the bush. The center guys working on, sometimes it works out great where there's a big vault they could drop in, and those are some pretty good sized meters, so they have working room. Others, there may be in a development that, like in the upper right, where the developer sodded over the meter access, so a little bit of archaeological work, and we're able to find the meters and all that, but all's going well. And then on the residential meters, there's a lot of those. So we're cranking out, some are in the ballpark right now of about 100 meters per day, and they're going great. And just the bottom 2 pictures are with the residential, and they've done so many that in the bottom right-hand picture, you can see they had to get a new service vehicle. The pink one in the background. So anyway, try to lighten it up a little, right? This is dry stuff. Next slide is on energy savings. Okay, so now, usually on these types of projects, you don't get any of the benefit until you're finished with the project. But something like this, you actually start getting partial benefit as you put meters in. So with the since we're finished with the water treatment plant and the wastewater plant, let's talk about those savings. Again, at the water plant, we put variable frequency drives. And I'm talking like you guys deal with VFDs every day, I apologize. These things are just designed to slow the pump down to use less energy. So when we put those in, we put them in all 3. Basically 2 are backup, 1 is primary, but you kind of vary, so you want to put it on all of them, right? To make sure that you get the savings. Our calculations said that we would reduce the pump speed by 25%, and because of the pump laws, that means roughly a 50% energy savings within the pump operation. So what's happened? Well, there's a couple things that's happened at the water plant over the past several months. One, no one knows the pumps are running because they're very, very quiet. And I think that's been a very positive thing at the plant. Very quiet operation. And in my days as an energy engineer, if it's loud, it consumes a lot of money. If it's quiet, it saves money. Well, in actuality, this one's actually running, instead of 25% less, it's running 33%. So we're saving more energy than what we had anticipated. And part of that is that because of the old pumps, when they came on, they just, boom, they came on. And it created a large surge within the water distribution. So there was a valve, a throttling valve, if you will, that added back pressure to the water main. Well, with these new variable speed fans, you could slow that fan down and do the pump down, and you could do a soft start. And because of that, they can get rid of that, or at least Matt was able to open up that valve and not have it putting the back pressure on. What does that mean? That means we went from a back pressure of 86 pounds to 43 pounds, a 50% reduction in the head that we're pumping against. That means that's why you're getting even more savings. That's one of the reasons why you're getting more savings than anticipated. So that's real positive. Moving on to the wastewater plant. Again, there are, we've got the SBR blowers in there, of which we put the variable frequency drive. Typically, those were running one run of them at full speed, and then the second one would be brought on about half the time when it's needed. And part of our plan is that we reduced the blower size, and we added a variable frequency drive. Combined, we anticipated and predicted that you get 30% savings on the water pumps. Well, the reality is now that when Ben's running it, he's running two of the SBRs, but at a lower speed. In essence, running it at those two at half capacity. And because of that, the way he's running them, you're actually getting about 65% savings, not 30. So the savings at the wastewater treatment plant is looking like it's going to be double what we thought within the pumping energy itself. So we found that very good. On top of that, there's been a significant increase in the level of dissolved oxygen control. And Ben could get into a whole lot more about what that means. I just know it's really good, and I know Mary would do the same thing. And then on top of that, because we're using smart technology in the SBRs, we're running things lower, not as harsh, you're going to get some residual savings in operation and maintenance in the future, less breakdowns, and it's going to increase the lifespan of those SBR blowers. So those two were really, really good projects, and we're getting really good results now. If I can go to the revenue recovery. So this is, we're getting into the water meters. We don't call it savings because you're not saving, you're just recapturing some of the revenue that was lost. As in the, part of that was a 17% gap that we're trying to cover. So we predicted there'd be $625,000 in overall recovery. We break that down into three sections. There's 2 under commercial meters and 1 under residential. The largest savings is going to be the meter setup errors. So when the original meters on the commercial meters were set up, they just weren't set up right. And there was a mismatch between how they were set up and how the billing system was reading. The result of that is why you were getting a big reduction in your revenue. That has been corrected. We've looked at those meters as we pulled them out. This piece of the work is, most of this is done now. Some of the software needs to be done, but you should start seeing a pretty good results, as it sounds like you are receiving some pretty good results with this. That any savings that you're getting now is probably the result of that. So that was a big number, and we have field verified that, yeah, that is the case. And then there's meter accuracy on both improvements on both the commercial meters and on the residential. And so what time that will come in? Yes, sir.
We've got a question here.
I just have a question. Is that annual? Is that monthly?
Yes, sir, that is annual.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the recovery. That's the recovery plan, and we'll just track that as we go forward in time. So if I can go to my last one, I haven't kept watch on myself on time, but I think I'm doing okay. So as a summary, I want to close with this project is on time, it's on budget. The savings for the two plants are tracking, or they're better than tracking. I also want to say that we were able to work with Mary and get an Ameren to obtain a $30,000 rebate on the 2 treatment plants, and we're trying to maybe even work on some more. And then the revenue recovery from the meters is on track. So with that, I'd entertain any questions that you have, or my colleagues, or anybody else. And I didn't introduce Jeff on the phone. I think Mary did. Jeff is on Zoom.
Do we have a ballpark figure on how much the savings on the energy for the 3 big motors? And you said it was 30% savings at one point, and it was 62%?
Yes, and if you go to slide...
What kind of energy, money-wise, that amounts to in a year?
Yes, sir. So if you go to slide 3, we have a table that talks about the SBR blowers has a total projected savings of $21,000, and that would be at the wastewater treatment plant, I apologize, and $18,000 at the water treatment plant.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that my observations is we're going to be better than that.
Good, good.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for allowing me. Bye.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Ms. Calcagno?
I don't want to quit while you're ahead.
I would.
Thank you for
Efficiently.
your attention, for allowing us to do this project. I know it was a long time coming. We are going to get the meters done and in. We anticipate that the meters will be installed by the end of November. They'll be doing cleanup in the first part of December, but we will meet our February 2021 deadline. So
Okay.
that's good news.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so there's not really anything to move forward there, but we will move on to number 2, a request for the annual Cowboys for Christmas Parade. I know that's been going on for some time. Anything you'd like to add about that, Mr. Bach? I know it's in our packet. If you have questions, I see Mr. Kitchen's here tonight.
Last year was the first year they moved it from the last Sunday in the month, or excuse me, the Sunday following Thanksgiving to earlier in the month, and that worked really well for them. They actually had a good year, so they continued to plan to have it early in November instead. So, but otherwise, it's it starts and ends in the park and runs to downtown and back.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for either Mr. Bach or Mr. Kitchen? All right. Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, that will move forward. Number 3, an ordinance amending the CBA with the fire union.
Yes, Mayor, after reviewing our agreement with the fire union and going through this first round of hiring, we noticed that we needed to change some language on what was required. So we want to have the requested change from certified first responder to being a requirement, and just make that preferred. So that's the change that you see.
Okay. I think this was in the packet, had information about the background of it. Any questions from anyone? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, we'll move that forward. Move on to number 4, a change order.
There's various things on there, though. Some of the quantities, like on piping and concrete, have been over a little, under a little, but it resulted in a net decrease of $1,600 and some dollars. So that's what you see as a change.
Okay. Questions, anyone? Mr. Kimmons?
Roll. He's come to us the last couple of meetings with decreases in contracts here. Maybe I shouldn't say anything about that.
Yeah, don't.
He's probably going to want to start treating it like a grant and need a percentage. Sorry, won't work that way.
Is that completed now, or?
No, I talked to Capital, though. Willis is backfilling the curbs right now, and so it's pretty much, they're on the tail end of it, and Capital's going to be in, they said Saturday, to start milling those streets and getting them prepped for asphalt and paving work.
Good.
I noticed in your comments about the basin that was created over at Fox Park.
Mm-hmm.
So if I understood that was made a little larger and a little deeper, or what was the net change of that?
Yeah, there was some extra material there, so by increasing the size, we were able to raise the surface level, where the water can go back to the pipeline. They had it down lower from the infill pipe, and so there's enough capacity there. We increased that, so it'll actually detain more water there. It'll still, and we also reduced the outflow pipe, the bottom pipe in there, where it'll build it up a little quicker. And we're seeing some of the basins we've had not meeting the capacity that they have available, so.
It's not going to flood the pickleball court, is it?
No, it would exceed the spillway before a pickleball court would be damaged, so.
All right, thank you. Anyone opposed to moving that forward to the next meeting on the agenda? All right, hearing none, we'll move that forward. Thank you. Next one is a stop sign request.
So.
Is that you too? Okay.
Well, police had completed the study on it. We received an email request from, and a verbal request from another citizen for a stop sign there, making that a 4-way at that location. And so following the police review on that, on traffic counts, and you went back about 20 years looking at the intersection counts there, and they were just, 1, 2, maybe accidents at the most per year on that. So they made a determination that it didn't need a 4-way. So they recommended it, keep it as it is.
Okay. So, Mr. Davis.
Is that average for an intersection, or is that high, 1 to 2 a year?
No, I mean, some years were 0. I mean, that's.
I saw the charts on it. I thought that was kind of high, but over the course, they're just averaging one.
Some of them were, it was not even actual impact wrecks. It was like I'll let Troy speak on that maybe.
Chief Link?
So out of the 19 accidents that I found when I did the historical research for that, 12 actually involved cross-traffic. In other words, vehicles that had the stop sign that pulled out in front of an oncoming vehicle on Gratz Brown. The rest of them were 3 people missed the intersection and backed up into the car in front of it, behind them. There was one accident with 2 vehicles that were crossing Gratz Brown. One didn't turn the turn signal on, so they impacted. But with the amount of traffic that's through that intersection, to average 1 accident a year over 20 years, that to me sounds like that's a very, very low number of accidents.
Okay.
There's a huge amount of traffic through that intersection.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Gratz Brown was changed, how many years ago, Tom? When we widened Gratz Brown?
Probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, so Gratz Brown used to be flipped the other way. It used to be Gratz Brown had the stop sign and Logan was through traffic. When they widened Gratz Brown, in conjunction with the changing of the schools and the schools moving for that Gratz Brown, they switched that around so we had through traffic there. My look at it, if we throw a 4-way stop sign there, we're going to have traffic backed up on Gratz Brown.
And then McKenzie too, possibly.
I don't know about McKenzie. McKenzie's already 4-way anyway.
Okay, so if we don't want to put a stop sign, then we would not want to move this forward, correct, Mr. Ray? If I can bring something on, we're going to vote against, so.
Yeah, I went out and looked at it and everything, because, I was wondering, because of the number of traffic accidents over the last 20 years, but, it's clearly marked that, that cross-traffic doesn't, on Gratz Brown doesn't move. Doesn't stop, so,
When I did the research on the accidents, I didn't find anybody that said that they couldn't see a car coming for some reason. They didn't see them, and I think that historically what we're seeing is a lot of people driving with their hands in their phones, and I think they also in a hurry, and they don't stop, and they don't look well. I go through that stop sign frequently.
But we haven't had a whole lot of people requesting a 4-way there, just.
To my knowledge, only this one and one earlier in June was the only ones that I'd received for that intersection.
Okay.
And we're not receiving any complaints for the stop signs or speed or anything like that. None of those are coming in, at least to my knowledge, since 2016, I haven't received any complaints for the area.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Kaiser?
I have driven that intersection. I've been almost in accidents twice there because of traffic going on Gratz Brown, and you're stopped there. And if this did move forward, I would be voting yes, because even in this report, it says in July, the neighbors around the area inquired why it wasn't a 4-stop and 4-way stop. And I think that if we put it to the council and gave them a chance, they might make a case for it. But I just want to be on record that I would vote for it, so.
I would consider it if it was, but I don't guess anybody's here that, I mean, not even the person that asked for it is here in person to.
I think, I mean, as far as every time there's one or two person that wants a stop sign, we're going to have stop signs up everywhere. So is anyone else for moving it ahead? I know I'm not. Mr. Brubaker?
No.
Okay, so there's not a majority to move it forward. It will not move forward to the next meeting.
May I request that it does reflect the record that I would have supported it?
The whole meeting has a record, so. All right, moving on to number 6, an ordinance amending section 42-293.
Yeah, I'll speak to that, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Thompson.
This is the article in our code having to do with sewers. And so as you know, all sewers have to be connected to the city main, and that's required by code. And if someone doesn't choose to connect to the city main, our only remedy at this point is to prosecute them and have a fine levied for failure to comply with the city code. And I think the water department or utilities, Mary could speak to this, is having some difficulties with sewer laterals that are failing and not being connected to the main, and owners not being willing to comply with our sewer code and connect to the main. So what this ordinance would do is give our utility department the power to make the connection themselves, to connect the private sewer lateral to our main, and then we would assess a lien against the property for the cost of making those repairs, much like we do in our nuisance code. When we abate a nuisance, we put a lien on the property. This would be much like that, and we would have to enforce the lien just like we do with the nuisance code.
Well, I guess one thing that comes to mind about that is, so we're at a point where we've asked them to fix something or do work and give them an opportunity to have it done per their choice before we
Yes.
step in. Because I'm thinking of the due process here,
Right.
whether we're going to be in a bad position because we have just done it and charged it. I mean, we'll have a basis for deciding how much it is and those things that would be contested. But if you're going to give somebody an opportunity by citing them or however you do it
We've been issuing letters to the property owners and then sending a second notice once their timeline has come and gone. We give them varying lengths of time to fix their sewer lateral. Most of the time, we don't go up in their yard. This is something that is in either the right-of-way or within our easement that we find a sinkhole, or their lateral has dropped down into our sewer main and is causing a partial blockage or sometimes total blockage of the city's sewer main. So we let them know, we give them a length of time to fix that depending on the severity of the problem, and then remind them. And if they say either, no, I'm not going to do it, or I can't afford to, we need a way to get these repairs executed.
Okay. Just trying to cover the base. Mr. Thompson, you wanted to add something more?
Well, to your point, Mayor, there's no state statute that prohibits us from doing that. There's no state statute that authorizes us to do it. So what Mary did and I've done, we've researched other cities in the state, what they've done to remedy this situation, and this is one form of remedy that we've found that other communities do. That is, perform the work ourselves. And we will cover all due process aspects of it. I mean, our notice provisions are extensive, and then we'll tell them when we're going to be there and what we're going to do. So they have every opportunity to make the repair themselves. We just need to safeguard our sewers.
I don't disagree. I guess if it's not an emergency, do you have a standardized amount of time? Do you follow?
Usually it's 30 days. You know, it depends on where it is. We have one right now that's at the edge of an alley and it's a sinkhole, so we had to close that through traffic through the alley. So it just depends on what it's impacting and what we think the potential for further damage would be.
Questions, anyone else? Anyone? Thank you. Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All All right, hearing none. That will move forward. That is the end of the agenda. Is there anyone else, anything else to come in front of council in this work session? Mr. Milnes.
Mr. Mayor, the RTAB board has attended tonight. We were understanding that the consultant of the city county is wishing us to join in with, was going to do a remote question session tonight, but I do not see that on the agenda, or I had not received any communication that
Okay.
it would not happen. Can you clarify for me?
I will ask Mr. Crane to.
He was on there under that agenda item, and we didn't have any questions, but he was available.
Was that on the agreement, your part about the? Yeah, well, I guess I apologize if I rushed through it, but when we were talking about number
We can probably
6,
connect.
that was where he was on
Okay.
when we had that discussion, although we didn't have much discussion because part of it's been out there for some time, but what did you say? I'm sorry, did I interrupt you, Mr. Crane?
We can get him back on the line if you want.
Do you have a question for him you like
Well,
that?
I would, and I can wait to call when we don't
Well, I mean, we
wish to do it.
we need to get this thing moving, so you want to,
His contact information's on that proposal. If you have any direct questions, you could ask him, or we can get him back on the phone tonight, or.
Okay. I can.
what's your
call him.
preference?
I can call him, that's not a problem.
Okay.
I just didn't understand going through there.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't get good hearing back there, and I couldn't hear him.
I didn't realize he was on, or I would have made mention of it, but that was the point where we would have had questions. Well, you want to get him that number so they can converse
He said it was on the,
Yeah,
on the,
it's on his proposal.
oh, it's on the proposal, okay. Okay. Well, then if you want to do that, then we'll get back in contact if you have other questions with us.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is the end of the work session agenda. There's not anything more before the council, so entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned, and soon